What a day. This is going to be a very special podcast on the Plantcast today, one that I've been wanting to do for a long time. And as you can see, we're loaded up with orchids. I've got Rick from the Venice Orchid Society. And Rick, tell me again your full title there.
Okay, I am the Director of Education, Training, and Outreach for the Venice Area Orchid Society here in Venice, Florida.
Wonderful, and I appreciate you taking the time to do this.
My pleasure.
There's so much to talk about orchids. Before we came on, you were telling me that within the plant world, orchids, just in their own right, have they have 30,000 varieties.
The way we like to explain it to newbies, we'll call them newbies,
right.
Okay, is that you and I are the same species, Homo sapien.
Yeah.
Okay, and the things that make us hybrids of the Homo sapien are color hair, color eyes, things like that.
Yeah.
The orchid world, currently there's about 30,000 different species.
Unbelievable.
And about 150,000 registered hybrids. So we're registered because we have birth certificates.
Yeah.
Those 150,000 have certificates from the Royal Horticultural Society in London, England.
So they're
official.
They're documented.
They're documented.
Yeah.
Okay, they're actually legal and all that type of thing.
Yeah.
So there's so many different types. They grow from sea level up into the Andes Mountains at 12, 14,000 feet.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of variations.
Yeah, I mean, you have to say, within the plant world, they have so much to offer. I mean, for example, like for a hibiscus, I mean, there's a lot of different varieties, but not that many.
Yep. And that's what makes it so interesting in this particular world. There are so many types, there's different scents, there's different colors, people use them for decorations, some of them just for the scent alone.
Yeah.
They're known, not only their taxonomic name,
right,
but also their common name, like the Lady of the Night that only smells at night, the corsage orchid. Any lady who's ever had a corsage has had a Cattleya orchid. Right. So there's lots of commonalities in between them.
And that one, the famous photographer Clive Butcher photographs the ghost orchid.
Very much so, and I've seen them. I've been to his shop several times, and we have a member in our club who actually has a couple of them, and he got them legally.
They're pretty rare
because they're protected.
Yeah.
They are protected now. And in fact, we sponsor a PhD student at Florida State who is growing them and finding them and has them all hidden with the GPS so that nobody can go get them.
Right, just to keep them
going.
Yeah.
To reestablish.
That's great, yeah.
Great. A lot of fun.
Yeah. So we got a couple orchids here today. Now you were talking about the Lady of the Night. I think that's what we've got here.
That's what we have here.
And
now this is how they grow in the jungle. You got to remember that when you buy them in a store or whatever, they are potted for our benefit.
Right, they're not in their natural element.
And their natural element, they're attached to trees. They're air plants.
Yeah.
Okay, and so they're attached to trees. They're attached to rocks. They can grow. Some of them can grow in the sand.
Right.
Okay. So this is really how they appear in the wild.
Yeah, and this one you were telling me it's the Lady of the Night because the flower only gives off its fragrance at night.
Correct. It gives off this citrusy scent to attract a night flying moth. Because as you know, butterflies are during the day and moths fly at night. So they intersperse and whatnot and spread the seeds around and whatnot. And here we go. And they attach themselves to the various pieces of wood and go from there. So nobody feeds them in the wild. Nobody pots them in the wild. They get fed when the waste from animals, from flies, from other flowers run down through the tree. They get watered when it rains.
It's almost like we try too hard to to do things for them that they probably just would do on their own.
George, there's a term we use often. People kill them with kindness.
Exactly.
Okay, It happens often where we'll get one that's kind of sickly. We'll take it. We'll just put it outside. I'll just throw under a shrub.
Let it heal itself.
Let it go, and son of a gun, if it doesn't, put out new roots and start a whole new life again.
Yeah. Well, that's good info. And now, back in the background here, we've got the beautiful Vanda.
Yes.
And in my opinion, of course, everybody loves the flower, but in my opinion, part of the beauty of the Vanda is the actual root structure itself.
They are beautiful plants. There's thousands of them. One of our members, that's all he grows.
He's a specialist.
He has several hundred of those. In fact, he's actually bred them and has named them after his brother, his father, his mother. Right. Okay, and they all have the little certificates from the Royal Horticultural Society.
Yeah.
But those grow at the top of the tree. That's one of the issues that people have is I always kill them. That's one of the questions I ask whenever I'm doing a training session. I start one. How many people have killed an orchid? And we all put our hands up. Okay, right. And it's because of the leaves and they're in the wrong spots. Those grow at the top of the tree, hence the long, narrow leaves.
Yeah.
Okay. The ones that you buy at any of the big box stores, okay, the moth orchids, for instance, have wide, thick leaves. Those grow in lower light areas. So if you put them in high light, they'll burn.
Yeah.
Okay. Those won't grow in low light areas. So you kind of have to know where they go.
Plant placement is everything.
It's critical.
Yeah.
It's critical.
Yeah, and so back here on your side, we got the dancing lady.
Yep. And it's called that because if you look closely at the flower, it looks like the old gay 90s big bouffant skirt.
Yeah.
And the arms out dancing.
Yeah, when there's twirling.
That's what it looks like.
Yeah. Yeah, small flowers, but vibrant.
Right, and that's really when we have our shows, like our show is always the very first weekend in February here in Venice at the Venice Community Center, and we'll typically get 4,000 people that show up.
Wow.
And all different kinds of orchids are shown there, and that's one of the very, very popular ones.
Yeah.
Along with this one here, for instance.
Yep.
This is a dendrobium. These are my personal favorites, by the way, because they'll last 4 or 5 months in bloom.
And again, small flowers, but a vibrant color that it's giving
and a
off.
wonderful scent.
Yeah.
Okay. And they're really quite unique in that regard. There's so many of them.
And they seem to be a tough orchid. I mean, they've got the stiff leaves.
Yep.
And
that's correct.
Yeah.
Yep. And the color, unlike grass, where people say, "Oh, a good, rich, dark green."
Right.
Okay, that's bad for orchids. They like a medium green, kind of like a lime green.
Sure.
And when people come to our orchid ER on Thursday nights, and they say, "Hey, how come my plant, it looks healthy, I feed it, I water it, I do all the things I'm supposed to, it doesn't bloom."
That's what it's
it
supposed
needs
to
more light.
Yeah.
That's usually the issue.
Yeah. So we've gone over some of the beautiful orchids we've got here today, but I want to know like how you got started with your love of orchids.
It's kind of an interesting story. I think it is anyway.
Yeah.
We had moved here back in 2007, and we were sitting on the lanai one night, my wife and I, and of course, the middle of the winter, up north, there's 2 feet of snow on the ground.
Couldn't do that up there.
And it's cold, and we're sitting on the lanai having an adult beverage, and we're looking around, and all the green is there, the palm trees are all green and everything. And I said, boy, it sure would be nice if we had some color. Fast forward a little bit, we had joined a newcomers club. And one of the luncheons, we had a guest speaker, and happened to be the then president of our Venice Area Orchid Society, and
right.
She's doing a PowerPoint presentation with photos and stuff, and going through the whole thing, and she says, and one of the nice things about orchids is you can have color year-round.
I agree with you 100%. In my career as a landscape designer, I can't tell you how many properties I've been on that have beautiful species of plants, but everything's green.
Yeah.
And I've actually seen orchids people place them in areca palms.
Yes.
Attach
I've
them.
done that.
Yeah.
Been there, do that.
So you can actually like liven up your existing plants with orchids.
And right now I have one of the ladies of the night that's attached to a foxtail palm I have right in front of my house, and it's in bloom. So anybody who's walking in at night, that's all they can smell is that scent, which is like, oh my God.
Out of such a small flower.
Out of such a small plant. Yeah. It's just, and I don't do anything to it.
Yeah.
So
that's the secret. That's the secret to orchids, folks. Don't do anything.
Don't do anything to them.
Don't overthink it, right?
Exactly.
And so, in addition to your position with the Venice Orchid Society, you're teaching some classes.
I teach classes on. Actually, we have a team in the education group, and next Thursday night, our class is on pests and diseases.
Right.
We usually start in February, right after our class. The very first growers clinic, we'll call it, is Basic Orchids 101. Okay?
Yeah, kind of like a beginner.
I just bought
entry.
one. What the heck do I do with it?
Yeah, entry level.
And then we start building on that knowledge month to month until we get into actually dividing and repotting them and then learning how to mount them on a piece of wood.
Yeah.
And show them that way. So it's a progressive type thing, building on the knowledge, and we have a lot of fun with that.
Yeah, I mean, that makes the most sense, the way to go from the beginning to...
Why overcomplicate it?
Yeah. So, and this all is enacted, it's volunteers and...
We have about 400 members. We have a board of directors here in Venice. We have show VPs. It takes a lot of work. Usually a couple of days after our show in February is when we start planning for the next year's show.
Right.
And we have over 100 volunteers that will be involved in our show, our 3-day show. And it's a lot of work, but it's a lot of fun. And you get to meet some neat people. You never see anybody walking around with a scowl. Because they're walking around looking at all the plants and having fun, and the kids are there. And we had this year we had a booth because it was Venice's 200th anniversary as well.
Wow!
So they had a special placard so people could take a photo in front of the display with the Venice Memorial in the background, and use their own cell phones or cameras or whatever. Yeah. So it was a lot of fun.
And so your shows, as well as your workshops, they're open for anybody?
Oh, they're open for anybody. In fact, we have a reputation amongst the vendors who show at our shows of having the best show in, some say all of Florida, others say the west coast of Florida. But we just take care of them, and the judges that come in to judge the various types of orchids, they really look for the flowers. It's not so much the leaves, but they're judging the flowers against each other.
Sure.
And because there are so many different varieties and species, you wouldn't have a judge who's judging Cattleyas also judging Vandas. They're just so different.
They're just for their specific genre of orchids.
Right. It's like dog shows. Okay.
Right.
All right. You're not gonna have a judge for the beagles be the same judge for the German shepherds.
Yeah, makes
most
sense.
times.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Well, it's a great work that you're doing there, and I guess I got to ask you this. It's probably going to be hard for you to say. What is your favorite orchid out of...
my favorite... Well, okay. My favorite orchid type is the Dendrobium.
Right.
My favorite orchid is called the Catasetum Mary Lou. And I'll tell you a little story about that. Okay?
Yeah.
All right. And because I had purchased a Catasetum, which is a special kind of orchid from a grower out in California. He's come to our shows. And it was an offspring. It was never registered. It had a number. So I called him and I said, Fred, what is the parentage of this and what's it named? He said, it doesn't have a name. Do you want to name it?
Wow.
So I thought for a nanosecond and I said, sure. What would you like to name it? Cataceta Mary Lou is my wife's name.
Wow.
So he said, I'll put it in and we'll see if it hasn't been named yet. So 3 or 4 weeks later, in the mail comes an envelope from London, England,
You're in.
from the Royal Horticultural Society.
Wow.
And inside is a placard saying, forevermore, this Cataceta Mary Lou will be it. So you can go and Google Cataceta Mary Lou, and there it comes up.
Yeah, I
the
definitely gotta
and the whole
look it up
thing.
now, and I can tell why it is your favorite.
So that got me a couple of attaboys, I'll tell you, and I hold those precious.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, that's great.
So
I also wanted to ask you: have you ever heard of? Now, I've never seen one in person, but I've seen pictures of them. The Japanese dove orchid.
No, I've never seen that. There are so many.
I mean, and plus, like you said, there's orchids in parts of the world that we might not ever see here.
Exactly.
But that's one for you to maybe Google up.
A dove orchid, right?
The Japanese dove orchid. The flower literally looks like a dove in flight.
Ah, okay. Now some of those, you got to admit, you got to know that some of them are AI generated.
Well,
we've seen that evidence of that. People wanting to come in and buy a whatever name, and there is no such thing.
Yeah, they're a little too good to be true. But But let me know what you think of that if you get a chance. And what's upcoming with the Venice Orchid Society?
Well, we're actually things are kind of slow now because we're going into if you haven't transplanted or divided your orchids now, you're almost going to be a little bit late because you're supposed to do it in the spring when they're actively growing.
Right.
Most of the orchid societies are the people have left for the summer. Many of our northerners have gone.
Sure.
Okay, so now it's pretty slow until we start getting into the fall again.
Right.
And then that's when things will heat up again and some of the shows will start again.
Yeah.
There are some really big shows. There are some international shows in Tampa. We'll do bus trips down to them, and there's a lot of local growers. There's a few in Manatee County and Alachua that will have open houses and whatnot.
Yeah. Now, have you ever been up to the Kanapaha Gardens outside of Gainesville?
No, I have not.
They have quite a just like our local botanical gardens, they have a section just for orchids, and they got some beautiful stuff.
It'd be beautiful, yeah. Marie Selby has their section of orchids is beautiful. It's really nice to go through there.
Yeah, and a few years back they set up a whole walkthrough, and I mean it had everything, and not just the orchids themselves, but like you said, they were displayed on rocks, driftwood.
And that's the beauty of this. We have a very good friend, and she just had a small section, a small little corner on her lanai. And it's one of those areas. What are you going to put there? So she found herself a little rounded corner metal stand, 3 levels, and she put 3 orchids on the bottom, 2 orchids in the center, and 1 orchid on top, and they're in
and you don't even
different
see
times.
The stand.
And it's just so pleasant.
Yeah.
And the sense there just to relax, and it's a nice little learning area. We have a member who has a large lot here in Venice, and it was a double lot, but he only built on half of it.
Right.
And she made her own little garden path in there with benches and the sound and all that. And it's a nice place to go and relax and read a book and just look at the plants. Sure.
And one of the things we talked about before we came on was typically the medium that's used in potting orchids. It's proven. But there's a few things out there that viewers might not know about, and that would be those. I'm not sure the name of them, but they're a small clay.
Okay. Yes. There are so many. You have to remember now, taking it back one step. Okay. They grow on trees in the jungles.
Sure.
So so the media is there for our benefit. So people will put them in personally, okay, just because I like to experiment a little bit. I put them in pea gravel, which worked fine, but it was very, very heavy.
Yeah.
We have others that put them in wine corks. Okay.
Oh, I would have never thought.
It's just to give the support to the roots.
That's actually
because they're air plants. Yeah, it's very, very neat. LICA is what you were referring to. It's an acronym for light expanded clay aggregate.
Okay.
They're tiny little clay balls that will absorb just a small amount of water, but because they're air plants, allows the water to go through, but gives it structure. Okay?
Yeah, and with those particular clay balls, it's actually not about holding the water, it's more about that it releases the water.
It releases the water, and you have far less chances of worry about root rot. Because again, just like you and I can drown if there's too much water, they're being air plants, they can drown in too much water. Yeah. So you need that to flush out.
And another thing that you were telling me about is the idea, people like the time release watering with ice cubes, but what people may not understand is because of the temperature,
they are tropical plants.
Yeah, the normal environment of an orchid,
and they can suffer some stress from the cold, especially if it's on a very, very hot day. They've been known to have some problems with that. Just using the same amount of water, be it 2 ounces or whatever, okay, is fine. But most of the growers tend to shy away from the 3 ice cube. Not that it doesn't work. There are some people, because again, they've been around 300 million years. We know far longer than we have.
Yeah.
And some people can find a way to work it work, but if it's not written in the American Orchid Society directions, then I'd be suspect.
Yeah.
We'll put it that way.
Yeah. Yeah, and just the idea that like you or I or anybody on a hot July day, you stuck 3 ice cubes down their back. It's a bit of a shocker.
That would be a shock. That's right. Yeah, that's right. But as far as the mediums go, you can use Delica. People use fir bark. You use combinations of charcoal, not charcoal briquettes.
No, not Kingsford. Not Kingsford.
Yeah, not Kingsford. The real hard coal, coal charcoal. They'll use chopped coconut husk.
Yes. Now that's got a lot of nutrients.
And I use a lot of that.
Yeah.
Okay. For those plants that require a little bit more moisture, I'll use that instead of the Delica.
Yeah, because that'll hold.
It holds just a little bit more. And there are some, the Phalaenopsis that you get at the big box stores and whatnot, and some of your Paphiopedilums, the slipper orchids.
Yeah.
Okay. They require a little bit more moisture, so that's a better medium for those kinds of plants. And
one of the other things I wanted to bring up about orchids is the term epidemite. They live, well, their host, they won't harm their host.
Right. They're epiphytes. They are not parasites.
Yeah. Exactly.
Like parasites will live off of the plant or the tree or whatever, and will actually ultimately kill it.
Yeah, because it's taking stuff away from it.
These grow, they're in a symbiotic relationship with the plant, with the tree or wherever it is they're growing.
Yeah. So you really can't go too wrong in that area with them. And so I really appreciate you coming on today, and we'll have to have you I'd love to have you back to do like the 101, course.
Well, I can do that. I'd be happy to do that with you.
But I definitely want to encourage people in our area to go up to the Venice Orchid Society and participate, and help out and just enjoy it.
If they want more information, we have a wonderful website. It's vaos.org.
Okay.
Venice Area Orchid Society, vaos.org.
Vaos.
And our calendars are on there. We have a section of cheat sheets on growing orchids and different problems. We have all kinds of information. All of our past newsletters are on there, which have information on what to do different times of the year. And
so it's helpful just by going to the website.
Yes, very much so. And we'd love to have people come down. Our meetings are free. Both the growers clinics on the second Thursday of the month at the Venice Community Center.
So that's twice a month?
Once a month we have those, the second Thursday. And then we have our general meeting the first Wednesday of the month.
Okay.
Again, at the Venice area, at the Venice Community Center. And they start at 7 o'clock at night, both of them. We have a social hour before, but and you can come to those. We have a lot of fun. We have about 400 members, and we have a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, it's nothing but positive, and it's totally something to enjoy.
Good. And you're welcome to come, too.
I'll have to head up there.
I'm counting on it.
All right. Well, thanks for being on, Rick.
Thank you so much.
Yep.